Hi, and welcome to day 11 of Decmeron. I'm Ernie Boxall, and this is a story taken from the book The Way of the Human Being by Calvin Luther Martin, and it's called Einstein's Beaver. See, many years ago, it was said that there was a thin skin between two worlds, the world of the four legs and the world of the two. And so it was that the two could step between the other and become the other and to learn to live with each other until it was seen that the two legs were struggling to survive the harshest of winters that animal or man had ever known. And so a conference was called, and the two legs and the four legs met, and it was decided that the four legs would give up some of their own on one condition: that all of the animal was taken and that the skeleton was kept intact so that the spirit of the animal could return at a later day, and also that a prayer of forgiveness, a prayer of gratitude was said over the animal. And so it was that for many generations, the two legs and the four legs continue to exist together until the coming of the white hunter. And so it was that in the harshest of those winters, where no hunter was able to find food to kill. Now, the food was there, it just couldn't be found. And so it was that our hunter came home and he opened the door, and the bitter north wind came into his cabin and nearly doused the last embers of the last fire he had to make. He was exhausted. He laid down his rifle and he called for his wife to bring him what there was left to eat. And when she came out, she implored him to try once more. She was certain that this time he would find food. And so it was that he rose from the table exhausted, put back on his jacket, picked up his rifle, and went out into the snow and the storm that was coming horizontal into his face. And he trekked and he trekked and he fought against the wind that was trying to kill him, until for the first time in his life he was lost. He decided to carry on into the direction of the mountains and the woodlands in the distance. And so it was that as he travelled a few miles, he saw snowshoe tracks in the snow leading off towards the forest. Now, in normal times, that would be friendly hunters with a fire and a food to share, but not in these times. In these times, it would be a hunter desperate for food, desperate for a knife, desperate for something or somebody to eat. He carried on. He trekked through the snow, the storm blasting into his face, until he came to a river and decided to follow the river as it meandered through the land until he came to a clearing. And there, the sight of smoke and the smell of food came from a cabin by the lake. And he stood and he called, "Hello!" and was welcomed into the cabin by an old man. And as he entered, he could smell the aroma of plentiful venison. And he sat with the old man who was smoking a pipe. And the old man called for his wife. "Wife," he said, "bring our guests some food. He looks hungry." And so she did. She laid out the plates. And she brought out a bowl of venison with the fat dripping off it onto the table. They heard a commotion outside. "Ah," said the old man, "that must be my son's return from the hunt." Were they the tracks that the hunter saw? The sons came in and the old man bade them to go back out and share the load that they had brought with our guest. So they did. And a little later, the whole family ate together and drank the coffee and smoked a pipe until the hunter bade the old man that he go home back to his wife. And so he did. He opened their door and the storm had abated. He loaded up his sled and he walked easily now, following his track back to his cabin. And he entered the cabin and he said to his wife, "Wife, unload my sled. I have food for the night." His wife did. You see, in those times, the men hunted and the wife looked after everything else, a little like today. And then he heard it. "Ah!" from outside, as his wife came in carrying poplar bark with beaver tooth marks on every branch and every twig. "What is this?" she demanded. "You brought food?" He was amazed. He was angry. He rose, he put his jacket back on again, he picked up his rifle. "I will have revenge," he said. And he trekked back out, following his trail back to the river. And he turned the bend into the clearing and the cabin was gone. In its place was a beaver lodge with 4 beaver swimming in the lake. Too large, too small. He took his rifle. The larger beaver rose into the air and fell to the lake dead. And as he walked to the lake to scoop up the beaver, he noticed that the 2 young beaver had left. "Never mind," he said, "we will eat beaver." 2 arrows struck him in the spine. He staggered. He started to fall and he looked over his shoulder to see 2 young Native American braves walking towards him. That was the last he saw. As he sank to the ground and the blood flowed across the earth, the natives came up to him and said, "That is how you treat us. We fed you. We gave you fuel for your fire, and you kill our brethren. He died. Ladies and gentlemen, was it a cabin? Was it a Native American teepee? Or was it a beaver lodge? Did he eat with a Native American, with a trapper, or with beavers? And the logs that he took home, were they food for the family or fuel for the fire? We'll never know. But then again, I am a storyteller. Thank you.